So you live in Elizabeth, Colorado, and you're trying to find a dog trainer? Well, you've come to the right spot. We're going to walk through exactly what you need to know so you can feel really good about the choice you make for your dog.
You know, life in Elizabeth is pretty special, right? You've got that awesome mix of open space and a real community feel. And having a well trained dog just makes all of that so much better. I mean, think about just taking a quiet walk down the street or heading over to Casey Jones Park. Good training is what makes those moments truly relaxing and fun for both of you.
Okay, so where do you even start? Well, the most important thing right out of the gate is the trainer's philosophy. Seriously, this is the foundation for everything else they're going to do. These days, the gold standard for good, effective training is something called positive reinforcement. It's really just a science-backed way of rewarding the behaviors you want to see from your dog. Instead of focusing on the bad, you're building up the good. This creates a really strong, trusting bond. It's humane, it works, and honestly, it's what you should be looking for in any trainer you consider.
All right, so you found a trainer who uses positive methods. That's step one. Now, the next step is to look at their qualifications. Let's get into what you should be looking for here.
I know these letters can look a bit like alphabet soup, but they really do matter. For general obedience stuff, you'll see things like CPDTK or KPA CTP. But if you're dealing with more serious issues like really bad anxiety or aggression, you'll want to look for a CBCCK or an IABC CDBC. Basically, these certifications are proof that a trainer has gone through rigorous testing and meets high standards for their knowledge and their ethics. Now, let's talk about state rules for a second. This is an important one. In Colorado, individual trainers don't actually need a license. But, and this is a big but, if a place offers a board and train program where your dog stays with them, they absolutely must have a state PACFA license. PACFA stands for the Pet Animal Care and Facilities Act. This is your guarantee that the facility meets state requirements for safety and how they care for the animals. Okay, let's get into the practical side of things, the cost and the different kinds of training programs you'll find. So here's a rough breakdown of what you can expect to pay in the Elizabeth area. As you can see, a group class for about 6 weeks is going to be your most affordable option. On the other end of the spectrum, a board and train is a much bigger investment. Private lessons kind of fall in between, and you'll often see them offered in packages, which can actually be a really good deal. So which one is right for your dog? Well, think of it this way. Group classes are awesome for puppies or any dog that needs to learn how to focus when other dogs and people are around. But if you're dealing with problems that happen in your house, barking at the mailman, jumping on visitors, private in-home training can be a lifesaver because the trainer is tackling the problem right where it happens. Okay, so you've done your research and you've got a short list. Perfect. Now it's time to actually talk to these trainers to see who's the best fit. Think of this as your interview checklist. You want to ask them to explain their training philosophy, not just the textbook definition, but in their own words. Double-check their certifications. A really good trainer will also talk about creating a custom plan just for you and your dog's specific goals, and they'll have a way to measure progress. Oh, and here's a big one. If you're dealing with a behavior issue, ask if they'll work with your vet. That's a huge sign of a real professional. All right, let's bring all this back home to Elizabeth, because good training isn't just for inside your house, right? It's about being a good neighbor and enjoying your community together. So, first things first, the leash law in Elizabeth. It's pretty straightforward. Anytime your dog is off your property, they need to be on a leash, and that leash can't be longer than 10 feet. This goes for sidewalks, parks, trails, pretty much everywhere. It's just a basic rule to keep everyone safe and comfortable. Besides the leash law, there are just a couple other things to keep in mind. By state law, your dog has to have their current rabies tag on their collar at all times. Also, Elbert County has a noise ordinance, which is where training can really help if you have a dog that likes to bark a lot. And one less thing to worry about, you don't need a general dog license in Elizabeth or Elbert County. So, knowing the rules is great, but you've got to have places to practice, right? That's what really makes the training stick. And luckily, Elizabeth has some fantastic spots for that. Here are a few great local spots to think about. The Elizabeth Community Dog Park is obviously the perfect place for safe, off-leash practice, especially for working on recall. For practicing your leash skills with some mild distractions, Casey Jones Park is ideal. And if you want to work on keeping your dog's attention around all those interesting smells and potential wildlife, Running Creek Trail is a great choice. You've basically got these amazing real-world training grounds right here. At the end of the day, training is about so much more than just fixing a problem behavior. It's really about building a stronger connection with your dog. It's about being able to include them in more parts of your life. making everything, from just chilling at home to saying hi to a neighbor at the park, way more enjoyable and a lot less stressful.
Choosing the right person to help you with your dog's training is a really big decision. We hope this helps you feel confident as you get started. We wish you the absolute best on your journey to having a really wonderful life together with your dog here in Elizabeth.